Okay, let me just check this working. Right, we're going through Hyperliquid. Everyone's going to be talking about Hyperliquid. Everyone is talking about Hyperliquid. What is it? How do you bridge onto there? What are the opportunities there? What are the upcoming catalysts? Is it worth paying attention to? Is it just another DEX that is getting farmed for what could be a very compelling airdrop? So we'll go through all that shit, and yeah, you can make your own mind up at the end. First of all, what is Hyperliquid? Hyperliquid is, in their words, Hyperliquid is a decentralized perpetuals exchange with best-in-class liquidity, speed, and price. It isn't just a perpetuals exchange, as we'll go through now. It also has spot assets, which we're going to have a look into because there might be some actionable information there. But yeah, as a whole, Hyperliquid, it's its own L1 and primarily focused on its perpetuals exchange and its spot exchange, which wants to try and create a centralized exchange like experience, but keeping everything on chain, which is what we like, isn't it? So, and if we just have a little quick look at our good friends at Cato, just having a look at some social sentiment, there's been this huge kind of ongoing trend of engagement and mindshare of Cato over the past kind of 6 to 12 months. It had a couple of drop-offs where some of the there was some Oracle issues where users were liquidated, which is not great. But since then, it seems to have bounced back, and everyone seems to have kind of taken really, really kindly to it. And a lot of smart people in the industry are speaking about this as potentially one of the kind of potential outside runners with a lot of upside left and a lot of kind of meat in the bone for the average market participant. And we'll get into why that is in a sec. But good social metrics, all up and to the right. There was a DNS hijacking attempt on not just Hyperliquid yesterday, but an awful lot of crypto front ends because of this whole Squarespace hack that happened. And I think it's been rectified now, so nothing to worry about there. So let's get to it. First, we'll go through a tutorial. How do you get over there, and have a little look at the app. So hyperliquid.xyz or xyz, depending on how you pronounce that. You're going to be greeted with a pretty familiar interface that looks something akin to like a Binance or any centralized exchange, and I think that's what they're going for. They truly believe with the L1, the product they've built, which can scale up to hundreds of thousands of TPS, which you need to be able to kind of go toe to toe with the big boys who get to run off their own centralized servers, right? So yeah, you're going to be met with a very familiar user interface, and we'll just do a little walkthrough of what we've got here. We've got the order book, and it's important to point out that it is an order book, so it's not relying on like a liquidity pool model that you tend to see across other on-chain perps dexes. I think a central limit order book model is way more efficient for derivatives and spot assets, which lends itself well to more traders and more liquidity, and more traders begets more liquidity, and more liquidity gets more traders, and then you get this perpetual kind of prosperous cycle with regards to growing your exchange. So let's have a look here. So what you will find is altcoins on the left. So you've got your ETH, USD market, Bitcoin, Sol, Pepe, Tier, lots and lots of different assets. Really good at listing new assets as well, Hyperliquid. So it kind of catches a lot of narratives there, and it's a really good kind of venue for getting new assets listed quickly when others can't seem to move that quickly. And this comes predominantly down to the liquidity model, but also the order book, which allows for that. So a lot of these are derivatives. So you see you've got your funding there, but there also are now spot markets, what I want to go through a little bit more in detail. They have additional DEX only, trending, pre-launch, which is quite interesting. So you can kind of, similar to how Avo had pre-launch markets or Wales market has a pre-launch market. So let's just have a little look at what Eigen is trading at there. trading right down at 392, and then you could potentially have a little look at if there's any arbitrage opportunities between Wales and Avo, but it doesn't look like a drastic amount of volume that's gone through there. So, but it does have that functionality as well. And it breaks down by category as well. So if you wanted to look at AI, layer ones, DeFi, gaming, and even memes, so a large amount of memes listed on perps, where you can trade up to 20x leverage there with Pepe or SHIB, and then some smaller leverage limits there for some more higher volatility assets. So and really good open interest across a lot of these. Yeah, you can see the trades that came through. We'll go through how to get some assets on there and open a trade and close a trade. So let's have a little look. Right, so basically you need your wallet, obviously. Connect. We're going to use Rabi. Terms of use, accept. Can I get a little pop-up? Just check this is the right wallet. Yeah, that looks right. So yeah, the wallet's connected now, and then you're gonna want to go to deposit. Basically, what you're doing is you're depositing in from Arbitrum. So you're gonna want to have USDC on Arbitrum, and then you deposit in, and then you withdraw back out to the Hyperliquid L1. So this will actually to establish a connection through a signature. This isn't there won't be any movement of any asset balances here. So you can deposit USDC, which is the native USDC, USDCE, which is the bridged, or USDT. So if we go, we'll deposit some USDC in. Yeah. Before, confirm that. And there we go. Deposited in. So now, if we go to portfolio, it should show total equity, PEPs, account equity, and balances there. What you can also do from here is what you want to do, you can transfer between your perps and spot accounts, so it keeps those margin balances different as well. But if you went back to the trading UI, you could also do it here as well. So let's say I don't know, let's put half of that into perps, roughly half into spot. So now we've got two balances. We've got a balance of our available USDC for perps and a balance for our USDC for spot. And you can also send it to a different Hyperliquid address as well. So if you wanted to split it up for whatever reason, or you had you just want to transfer to another Hyperliquid account, you can do that as well inside the app without having to withdraw from back to Arbitrum, and then away you go. So you've got cross and isolated. Cross just meaning you have a net balance across all positions. So this could be good for if you're doing pair trading. So if you want to go long one asset and short another, you are effectively trading from the same collective balance there. Isolated, you have your margin for a said position, and then you that's just managed in an isolated kind of fashion, as the name says on the tin. So leverage, depending on which asset, be careful. And then what else do we have over here? One way you can, the position on this coin is either short or long, or to specify its size and direction only. There is no distinction between open and closed when placing an order. So you can purchase on a market order where you're just happy for the order book to fill at whatever price is available on the order book currently, or you can go and set a limit order. And then you've got a couple more advanced order types like scale, stop limit, stop market, or TWAP. So really, really kind of up there with what you typically see on a centralized exchange. So really, really good kind of UI UX, and much needed if you want to kind of bring more sophisticated and larger players onto the order book. If we were to open a position, let's say Sol USD, say we map that out a little bit. Map this out, maybe on the daily, the weekly. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's say, all right, we're happy to kind of bust along here. Go forex, change leverage. Let's go isolated. Actually, let's go cross, just for example's sake. And how much Sol do we want to buy? Let's say we want to do 50% of our position. And take profit or stop loss, you can go and put that in. Let's say you want to go, I don't know, we'll leave that off for now. So buy 18 Sol at 4x on cross margin. Place order, buy long. Okay, now we can go and view our positions on the bottom. Position shows you the position value, the entry price, mark price, liquidation price, and then how much we've got in margin. And let's just say we want to, I don't know, we believe Sol is going to outperform. We've got WorldCoin, which has got a shitload of unlocks happening. So you can kind of see that potentially just trending down to 0. Let's go to 4x on that. And then the remainder of our balance, same position, same net position size. We want to sell that short. So roughly same position size. So we're basically long Sol, short WorldCoin, because we know there's a lot of emissions coming on WorldCoin every single day. All we need now is Sol to outperform WorldCoin. And that's just kind of some additional functionality. Maybe you want to do a PURR trade on Hyperliquid, and that's something you could do. So that's how simple it is, really. You can quantify or share your profit and loss here with some quite interesting graphics and stuff like that. Before you do that, if you are going to share that, go and sort your let's one. Create a code, sorry. Oh, so you need to create a referral code after trading $5,023. Okay, makes sense. So you do that, and then every time you shared your referral infographic, you'd people could sign up through that as well. The points leaderboard is gonna actually we'll go through that in a little bit later, but we'll get back to this trading UI UX. Let's go to some spot markets now, which are really interesting for a number of reasons. So there are a few, if you look at this, there are 4 assets on the strict list on Hyperliquid. And then you can toggle that to the all list, which are unvetted, unverified assets. These 4 are relatively verified by the team. So you've got PURR, which was the first spot asset on Hyperliquid. You've got Jeff, which is obviously a meme coin of the founder. H-Fun, which I believe is a trading bot. And then you've got points. So people, I think, are speculating on the points price of a potential Hyperliquid token and then they're trading this. So if we have a little look at that token for a second, yeah, it's kind of in up-only mode at the minute. So remember earlier we deposited to our spot balance. So now, if again, very, very simple, if we wanted to go and buy some of this, you head over here, you've got your spot balance, there's 1200 USDC there to trade. Market buy them, buy whatever you want to do, or you could even TWAP in, which is really good. So the dollar cost average in, and place order. There you go. It does as fast as a centralized exchange. Really, really impressive. And it shows you your net balance there as well. If we wanted to sell, same again. How much do we want to sell? All of it. There you go. Really easy. I like your buy and sell orders on here as well. That's really, really useful. And yeah, that's about it for the trading aspect. Really, really simple, really good. And then, for example, if you wanted to withdraw some of your assets, withdraw from the L1, you need to move it back. I believe you need to move it back to your perps balance. So you'd go like this, move it back to your perps balance, and there you have it. You can withdraw your USDC from your perps balance back to Arbitrum. Still got our positions open. We're up $5.50. Drinks on me. Check back in the next episode, see where that's at. But I can imagine it continues to trend up. Right. So vaults. Where's the majority of this liquidity coming from to allow people to trade? It's the HLP liquidity provider vault, so Hyperliquid provider. Currently paying 24% APR on USDC. So to gain exposure to that, you just deposit in. So let's say we want to do, I don't know, put all that in. So that's from your perps balance. Max. 1, 2, 4, yeah. And what you're noticing, it's gasless. So you're not paying any ETH. Stupid aspect of UI is removed. So withdrawals are disabled for a lockup period after each deposit. You can withdraw after the 16th of the 7th. Today is the 12th. So you've got 4 day, kind of a 4-day lock on that. Currently paying 24% normalized. So this little pop-up here. The past month return is annualized return. The past month return is the annualized return of the vault based on the average past month. To reduce noise, past returns are not indicative of future performance. Only positive returns are extrapolated linearly. So my deposit, and then this will just kind of slowly tick up. The vault performance, it's up to 0.5 million over the past 30 days, and you can kind of see the P&L of the vault. So this is just the USDC deposited, and then it's taking the kind of other side of the trades for everyone who wants to trade on the Hyperliquid exchange. And then what I really like as well, so that's kind of like a really good USDC strategy, which is paying really, really well. So if we are in for a turbulent bear market and people are trying to revenge trade their way back to glory, then this could be a good stable coin farm, because you're going to get the APR return and you're potentially going to get some points on top of that as well. Let's go back to vaults. There's some like incredible vaults here. So people can opt in to create vaults for their own strategies. So let's just have a little look at a couple. Worst of the worst tokenomics, this vault's called, which is amazing. Description: long short with the top 5 scammiest shitcoins, all above 200 million market cap. It's only got $15,000 TVL, but this is basically long Bitcoin, ETH, short WorldCoin, MAV, alt layer, Pixel, Stark, Zeta, Meme, and ETH, and it's currently projected APR is 1,607. So yeah, really, really good. So you can kind of create these like really interesting vaulting strategies, and people can deposit in, and then there's this kind of performance fee taken on specific vaults as well. So if you look at some of the older ones, which you kind of want, farmers market, degen trading, you kind of want like a nice, let's show 50. You want like SPF's Cucumber Capital. What's this? Yeah. Basically, what you want, let's have a look, see if we can find some interesting ones. APR, tortoise hair. So past month return, projected APR 2,000%. Just being long Bitcoin, that one. Not very interesting. There was ETH versus the ETH. So if your thesis was you think ETH is going to outperform all these kind of L2 tokens that are coming on the market, extremely highly inflated, then this could be a potential vault that you'd like to deposit into to kind of carry out that strategy. So it shows you the entry price of the assets, shows you the market price, etc. So this is basically 50 ETH, 50x long, short, OP, IMX, Stark, Mantra, and ARB, which I think is good. They're performing pretty well, as you can see. And then there was an interesting one I seen yesterday. Funding rate arbitrage. There was a high FDV vault I seen yesterday. People are basically long Bitcoin and ETH against. Yeah, I can't find it now. But or you could create your own if you've got a kind of idea for a strategy, an idea around a thesis. Vault name, description, deposit amount, need minimum 100 USDC. As a leader, you must maintain greater than 5% of liquidity in the vault, and leaders receive 10% profit share. Note the name of the and description of your vault are permanent and cannot be changed. So a really cool kind of social aspect to that as well. Portfolio does what it says in the tin. You can also withdraw, send, transfer from here. So you want to transfer your balances, positions. You can kind of see everything here as well. You can say your fee schedules, and you've also got your VIP tier. So if you're trading over 2 billion, you obviously have no maker fees. Anything over 25 million notional, you've also got no maker fees. So it's just a tiered system, as you'd see on a centralized exchange. So another kind of hark back to like we really want to challenge these top dogs. Points, right? This is the interesting bit. I think there's around 10 weeks left. Where is it? Yeah. So L1 phase of points began on May 29, 2024. 700,000 points will be distributed weekly over 4 months. Activity from May the 1st to May 28th will receive a multiplier. Points criteria will be updated on a recurring basis. Distribution will be based on a weekly activity ending Wednesday and takes place on Fridays. There will be 1 to 5 affiliate points matching. Affiliates will need to reapply. Hyperliquid reserves the right to modify. So that's ongoing currently. So from May for 4 months, June, July, August, September. So you've got that ongoing till September. So you're probably going to see a flurry of activity here, and people figuring out different ways to kind of rack up the points. I dare say referrals, volume, providing liquidity, buying the meme coins, buying the verified assets on spot, and anything else that could be maybe creating a vault. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some people who've cracked the code on figuring out how to maximize the ROI on vaults. So leaderboard number 1, account value 1.5 million, volume of did 4.4 billion. So this looks like it's very much volume oriented, as you'd expect. Yeah, very much so. Thing is, a lot of these some of these balances are down horrendous. I don't know if these are natural volumes or people just wash trading this to try and get points, but if this is who we're trading against, then it's great. So yeah, like all the above, like points programs are just an incentive for people to try different aspects of the protocol. And obviously, if you're a centralized exchange, you want to optimize for volume and fees. So that's about that. So what have we got with regards to why this is really interesting? So there's two kind of big updates happening with Hyperliquid currently. So it's because it's its own L1, right? They needed their own token standard. So Ethereum and EVM have the ERC20 token standard, which everyone will have interacted with. Hyperliquid will, with the HIP, Hyperliquid Improvement Proposal 1, has their own native token standard now. So you can deploy native tokens and on-chain spot order books on the Hyperliquid, which is what you see with PURR and Jeff and all the other spot tokens on there. So that's its own token standard. And then HIP2, which is called Hyperliquidity. This is kind of taking inspiration from what Uniswap have done, where with any ERC20 token, you can deploy permanent liquidity and people can freely trade that until the end of time. So HIP2 is a novel mechanism to permanently commit liquidity to a spot order book for HIP1 tokens. So HIP1 token standard, HIP2 a way to permanently commit liquidity on a spot order book exchange, which is different to Uniswap's automated market maker deployment for ERC20 tokens. And Hyperliquid strategies to run entirely on chain and synergize with users' order book liquidity. So this is really, really important because they're also shifting, not shifting, they're kind of running in tandem an EVM execution client as well. So you're going to have the perpetuals exchange and the spot exchange being able to run purely on the L1 as it is at like extreme throughput, which I think they've optimized for up to 100,000 TPS, which you need. And then you're also going to have smart contract functionality be able to run in tandem, which is quite gas intensive. So those two kind of aspects of the chain shouldn't really get in the way of each other. So one more computationally intensive process shouldn't hinder the performance and the UI, UX, and latency of what the chain's all about as well. And then obviously it allows for further smart contract and app development to be built on top of Hyperliquid, which is really interesting. So then it starts to really look like an L1 as opposed to just this app chain for perps and spot dexes. So that's interesting. There's a lot of kind of community building going on at the minute. And what's really interesting is, what the hell is it? So you can launch spot tokens and you can kind of imagine, and you're starting to see an uptick. So like look at trade spot and take the strict list off. So there's a shit ton of these tokens coming on the market now where the market caps are slowly ticking up. They're still all relatively small, but you're starting to see some develop different applications. So when HIP2 goes live with an EVM execution environment, people will be able to build applications on top of Hyperliquid. So this is kind of happening now. So you see this Vegas USDC. Vegas is the first project to combine utility and gambling Hyperliquid. So let's have a little look at this. I don't really know too much about this. It's not like an endorsement or anything. Gamify to Hyperliquid. So it looks like they're having like a gambling, on-chain gambling product on top of Hyperliquid. So you're going to start seeing like an ecosystem evolve. But what's interesting is to deploy a token, they have these kind of Dutch auction style mechanics. So you can't just like go and deploy 1 billion tokens over there, like what's happening in Solana, and it's started to create like this really saturated environment, which is no good for anyone. So this guy's how to launch a spot token on Hyperliquid, blah 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 blah. First, you have to know how to pay a gas fee, the auction, quote unquote, to launch a token. And here's the graph of historical gas prices. So that's trending down, which is good. So the first launch, it looks like by this was the first paid launch where you have to pay was the Jeff token, and then points launched, and then at the height was a Pepe derivative. So you can do this on Hyperfun, first Telegram trading bot of Hyperliquid. So basically it gives you a config for being able to kind of deploy a token on there. A little bit more complex than Pump.fun, I will admit, and probably a little bit more expensive as well. And if we go to Hyperscan, the next auction starts in, let me just refresh this. Yeah, so the auction is currently ongoing, and the current price for the next ticker is $33,375. This should trend down until someone comes in and purchases it. So you can see there's a lot of different amounts and a lot of different progressions going on here. Active TWAPs for specific tickers. So these are just little kind of community tools that have been built. That might be interesting. You can chart obviously on the exchange, or Dex Screener has implemented there. Dex Screener has implemented tracking of the assets on there as well. Block Explorer is pretty native. But yeah, it's really, really active. And other than that, huge point actually, which I can't believe I nearly missed. So we interviewed Jeff maybe last year, and I think Jerry did it at the time, and we also covered them in an article, just kind of covering what they'd been building. And at the time, there was a lot of Pubstexes coming online. What really stands out, particularly in this point at where we're at in the industry, where everyone's complaining that there is huge predatory tokenomics that are satisfying insiders and people who've been able to buy pre-seed or seed or even Series A and then mark it up 1000x or 100x before it even comes to the market, and then everything just trends down and the farmers get farmed. The money's already been made in those trades. It gets made in the private markets, and then retail gets absolutely nothing. So what's really interesting about Hyperliquid is they've actually raised zero money, which flips the whole game on its head. And it kind of takes you back to some of the early days with like fair launch tokens like Yearn and a couple of others that came into the market at the time. But being able to build a product where the team have took no external capital and not at the whims of any external influence is really, really, really interesting and really, really important, particularly at this kind of juncture that the industry's in. You've seen huge pushback and the pendulum swing the other way to low float, high FTV with regards to meme coins, and that was kind of the industry's pushback to that, I believe. Now, this is like the first grown up counterpoint to that as well. Incredible product, incredible team. They ship fast, very, very much needed, particularly when you look at people wanting to primarily trade on chain. There is a huge opportunity for on chain derivatives still. It's a fraction of the volume of what you get on centralized competitors. And if these can create an environment where that volume and that kind of execution can be matched, then I don't see why this couldn't continue to do really, really well. They need token to decentralize the L1 proof of stake token, utility token, to decentralize the validator set. Token has kind of been basically all but confirmed. So these points are potentially one of the last hurrahs at a potentially great airdrop for people who are kind of sick and tired of the deposit and wait game that is being played, like the farm is being farmed. So if you've been doing it from the early days, kudos, congrats. The points are probably worth a pretty penny now. But I still think there's a lot of meat on the bone to be left for people who are just kind of coming around and finding this now. So again, just kind of trying to think about in your mind, like, where do these want to be optimizing for? It's definitely volume. It's definitely trying new features like the spot assets, because they want to push out this new. Well, they've pushed out HIP1, which is the token standard, and the HIP2, which is the permanent on-chain spot order book liquidity. So give it a whirl, see what you think, and let me know if we're getting overly bullish on a product that might just be getting a lot of hype because it's been farmed, but I don't think so. I think a team, particularly in this industry where they'll have had probably 9-figure, 10-figure potential valuation raises offers, and they're just saying, nah, fuck it, we'll build it ourselves and distribute it to the community. I think that's seriously impressive. So and I'm kind of happy to back teams that do that sort of kind of thing. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think there'll be a lot more app development that happens on top of this network, particularly if they can kind of leave enough meat on the bone for people to do well off the back of their native token and the ecosystem tokens. And yeah, I think the DEX probably just continues to have more and more cool features that get announced every day. And yeah, if I've missed anything, please let us know in the comments. Please give us a like and subscribe. And yeah, well, I don't know what I'll cover next time, but it'll be something interesting. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.